I'm Don Matchett. I'm the Director of Development for IM, and today we have the privilege of having Jeff Manning. He's the pastor of Unity in North Carolina. And Jeff, you have been so connected to IM for a very long time in many different ways. You served on the mission board, and you served as chairman of the mission board. And I came in under your leadership for a short while until you came off. But I do know I was there long enough to know that you made a great impact on the mission board, and I think I would call it even a lasting impact on the mission board. So thank you for serving with us and for us. Today we want to talk about basically what it means to lead a mission-centered church. That's going to be our topic we want to talk about. But I want to, instead of talking about the church's accomplishments, which I know are great, I want to talk about the pastor and how a pastor leads a mission-centered church. So I want to start out with this question. Can you remember a time when God's heart for the nation actually became personal to you?
Don, I would say that especially took place when I went to Bible college.
Okay.
It probably started with both Dr. Miley
Yeah.
and Bobby Aycock, who were at that time teachers,
Yeah.
who had been on the field for decades, and now they were pouring their lives into the students. And I just got to sense the heartbeat of those men. Even though they weren't serving on foreign soil, they were in the classroom still. Their heart for the nations was very, very evident.
Yeah.
So it began there. It also coupled with prayer band that we used to have.
Yeah.
Prayer band had an impact on me. It was the first time that I got involved in faith giving.
Okay.
I mean, I was a Bible college student with no income, and I made a faith promise to give to some missionary like $5 a month or $5 a week. I don't know, but it was my first time doing a faith promise commitment. There was NACOME. You know, when we would have the NACOME mission retreats, those were impactful. Hearing Clint Morgan just tell stories, all of those things together really started peeling back the onion, as it were, and making me aware that, hey, Jeff, there's a whole lot more to this world than just North Carolina, than just Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, I know Welch is really doing a great job in that area. Particularly, they must be doing something along giving too, because we've had students that have said, you know, if I don't start now, I will never start. And so I'll start with what I have. And it seems like that's probably something that maybe impacted you at that time.
To a degree. Now, my mom, she instilled in me giving in general.
Yeah.
Growing up on a farm, a tobacco farm, a cucumber tobacco patch farm.
Yeah.
My mom taught me to give when I was a kid.
Right.
But the faith promise, giving above and beyond, that's what kicked in when I went to Bible college.
Right. So, but I know you, in addition to your experiences at Welch and your mom's great teaching and leadership by action, you've been on some mission trips as well.
Yes.
Talk about that for a moment.
Yeah, some of the early mission trips I went to Haiti, which actually was not to one of our works, but I had a chance to go to Haiti, and man alive, just the level of living that was so foreign to me.
Right.
It so humbled me, and people were so hungry for the gospel. Trips that I was able to make to Brazil, and to China and other places. It just made me aware of there is a needy world out there who in many cases they long to know about this God that they sense in their spirit, in their soul, in their heart and mind, but they don't know through Jesus. And then not that long ago, I got a chance to go to Uganda, Village of Hope.
Yes.
And I'm gonna tell you what, that is probably the overall best mission trip I've ever been on.
Yeah.
The opportunity I had to do some teaching, some preaching, interact with students, kids, the vibrancy of their worship, man, to see that, it was incredible. Right. It was incredible. And you just wish that you could take your whole church on trips like that and let them see what you've seen. I didn't do it intentionally.
Right.
But I remember on several occasions when I would come back from mission trips, my people would comment, Jeff, your preaching was different. And I wasn't aware of it. I was just trying to still be as passionate as I've always tried to be about preaching and teaching the Bible. But evidently, the experience of going on mission trips, it just affected me and it affected my preaching.
I'm so glad you said that, because I think it's important for pastors and preachers to realize that is one of the most important reasons why you should get outside the U.S. and go to another country, because you come back a different person. You're
Yes.
not the same you were when you left.
Yeah,
And those things have to affect your ministry in some way.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I can see that. That's a tremendous value. So let's dive into that if we can a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pinpoint some exact ways that all of these things we're talking about, your story, how it has affected your ministry as a whole?
Well, I mean, we try to have missionaries in regularly. When missionaries send me an email, when they call, when they give me a text, I do my best to reply.
Yeah.
I cannot always have every missionary in my church
sure.
that might want to come, but we historically have had tons of missionaries in. And so I try to do that. We promote mission trips, in our church. We've got several planned for this year. Our teens have already been on one. Our students, our kids, like our 5th and 6th graders, they went on a mission trip.
Nice.
We've got one planned. One of our teams is going to the Philippines in October. Another team's going to Japan in November. And so we've had kids, teenagers go on e-teen trips. I mean, you've got to put those opportunities in front of your people.
Yeah.
And so we've tried to do that.
I'm curious, do you do that purposely? Do you segment into different age groups so that you make sure you have a good balance of people that are going and experiencing, or is that just the way it works out?
Well, I mean, it is strategic.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can get a 5th grader to have some sort
Yes.
of an experience on a mission trip, to give them some sort of an opportunity to have a positive impression about what missions is all about. Same with our teenagers. That's a win.
Yeah.
That is an immeasurable win.
Right, absolutely. All right, I want to move on to something else here. I want to talk about some of your convictions about missions, because I know they're there. I've seen them in practice on the mission board, in practice as a pastor. So I'm assuming it is a conviction of yours that that mission be at the center of your church and everything that you do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Don, I don't know how you can be a Bible-believing preacher, Christian,
Amen.
without having a heart for missions.
Amen.
I just don't see how you can justify
Yeah.
that. So if you're going to say you believe the Bible, if you read the Gospels and you know the Great Commissions in all 4 of them,
Yes.
then how can you not have missions at the heart of your church? If it's at the center of the gospel, it's got to be at the center of your
Amen.
church.
That's true. So how do you implement that into? I mean, like, are there certain scriptures that really speak to you about these things? About, we all know, as students of missions, we're all should be students of missions. But if we dig deep enough, we know that message runs from from Genesis to Revelation.
Sure.
And so, are there certain areas and passages that you would draw upon to give that same conviction to your church?
Well, I certainly would preach missions anytime and in any way it appears in whatever biblical text I'm preaching.
Yeah.
More often than not, through the years, I've preached through biblical books.
Oh, it's
And
great.
so if you do that, I think you end up having a balanced
have to,
preaching
yeah.
ministry. And so if you do that, you're going to mention missions as often as God's Spirit led
Exactly.
the authors to include it.
Yeah.
And so whether you're preaching through the Gospels or the epistles, or whether you're preaching from Old Testament
Right.
texts, the concept of missions is there. It's
It is.
all over the place.
Yeah, definitely Christ-centered, and so therefore, anytime we preach, especially as you're talking about, from book to book, expositionally, the message of Christ, no matter where you are, is going to be a few steps away. It's there
Absolutely.
if you only look for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that's great. So some churches they treat missions as a section of ministry or a subset of ministry, but it doesn't seem like your church does that. You understand what I'm saying? It's like missions is just a thing that we do or something that we're involved in.
Right.
How do you take that idea again from being not a poster on the back of the fellowship hall to being on the stage? How do you do that?
Well, Don, for us to begin with, our very mission statement is unity exists to lead our neighbors and the nations to become fully devoted disciples of Jesus.
Wow, that's great.
And so if you're going to try to evangelize, then you ought to be trying to evangelize your neighbors,
Yes.
the neighbors around where I live, the neighbors around our church, the neighbors of our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And then obviously you keep branching it out, just like the Great Commission says, and you're trying to reach your neighbors and the nations. And so that's in our purpose statement.
Yeah.
And then when we present our budget, on an annual basis, I mean, and for years I have tried my best to emphasize monthly missions giving.
Yes.
I mean, I don't mean any disrespect toward any churches that, have missionaries in, take up a love offering, and then send them on their way.
Yeah.
That's fine. That's good. That has its place. But that's almost like out of sight, out of mind. And missionaries, they need monthly support.
Right.
They need to know that it's coming in month after month after month. And so by God's grace, I have told missionaries for years, you keep on keeping on, and we will keep on keeping on giving to help you keep on keeping on.
Well, thank you so much for plugging that, because that's the lifeblood of a missionary.
Absolutely.
Because and we, I'm the director of development, so I do want to say we do appreciate every single dollar that's given, no matter how that may be. Some people that's the way it has to be. But that monthly giving, the missionary knows from month to month, day to day, that they are supported because it comes in regularly.
Yeah.
So thank you for doing that, and thank you for plugging that as well.
Yeah, and I don't remember now how many years ago we started doing this. I don't remember now how the Lord impressed it upon my heart, but we actually have every year in our budget an undesignated missions line item.
Really?
That enables us to pick up missionaries mid-year and start supporting them in January or October or November. And I think that has helped our whole missions mindset increase.
Yeah.
Let's budget for all of these missionaries. Let's budget for IM's general fund, and then let's put another line in there, put X number of thousands of dollars in it, and then as new missionaries are appointed, we don't have to wait, a year, give or take, before we can even think about supporting them. We can support them on the spot.
That's great strategy, great planning. Wow, that's something I wish every church would consider. Mm-hmm. So we're talking about practice, and what's happening in your church. Are there things that this is one good example of what's working. Do you have other examples you would say, this is what works for us?
Yeah. Well, I remember for years, and maybe a lot of churches still do, we had a missions bulletin board.
Yeah.
And we had it on a prominent hallway, and we put all our missionary letters up there and updates, heartbeat, and all that kind of stuff. Well, it's kind of old school.
Yes.
And so it's fine if churches still do it, but
Right.
So we will take, newsletters and things that we're allowed to send out, because some you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
And we will just email them
Okay.
to our whole church family. And so we might have a missions emphasis email that goes out to all our people, and it might have 3 or 4 newsletters in it. And so
Okay.
that helps us keep our people updated with our missionaries.
I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, because I know, we can get into the details. I'm just curious what you're talking about there, where someone is informing the church of all things missions.
Yeah.
Is that an individual person that you've appointed?
And he would give those updates.
I love it.
And so now Kevin Justice, who's basically our administrative pastor, he's the one who sends out the emails to all the mailing list of our church.
Oh, yeah, Kevin's a great advocate for missions as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we talked about what's working. Are there are there things that you have attempted or practiced and you would say, this just doesn't work for us? Is there anything like that? Or are your strategies are just so well defined and you know exactly what's working and what's not?
Yeah. Offhand, I can't think of anything that like we tried and we just stopped.
Yeah.
That was a bad idea.
Right.
Didn't mean that everything was a good idea. I'm just not thinking of any of the bad ones right now.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I mean,
Yeah.
but you guys have been at this for a while. I mean, I'm assuming Unity, it's been their DNA to be connected to mission. So that makes sense.
Yes.
All right. So here's a challenge I'd like for you to give to our audience. If you could sit across some table from any pastor, all the pastors that are listening today, what advice would you give to a pastor that maybe their church is not as connected to missions, or maybe they feel like that their church can't do missions? What would you say to them?
I would say don't underestimate what the Lord might want to do with you and your people.
That's great.
I would encourage my dear brothers, don't be disobedient
Yeah.
to the Great Commission. Don't make excuses.
Oh, that's good.
I would say with a humble heart, to a dear brother, be reminded we're going to stand before God
Yeah.
and give an account for how we pastored our churches. And would you want the one who gave his life's blood to atone for sins to look at you and say, so why were you not more missions minded? When I gave my all, why would you not push your people to be all in with regard to missions?
Wow, that's
And
good.
so I would just encourage them, try to do more. And even maybe try to increase your missions giving by 2 to 5% every year.
Yeah.
And we've been doing that for any number of years.
Yeah.
And I honestly believe that this is my personal conviction. I can't prove it. The Lord might say I was wrong when I get to heaven, but I think that one of the reasons our church has been blessed financially is because of the way that we've given to missions through the years.
I believe it. I think that's not an experiment. That's the truth. That we've seen that in so many churches who give sacrificially, I believe, because there's other things that they could be doing with these dollars. But every time we see that happen, the church is blessed, the finances go up.
Yeah.
It's just the way it works.
Yeah. And Don, one other thing I just now thought about, we've done this 2 or 3 times. We've actually helped missionaries raise support for a special project by offering a matching gift challenge.
Oh, yes.
The numbers don't matter, the amounts don't matter, but there have been times when maybe a church was trying to raise $100,000, $300,000, and we might have said, I tell you what, if you can raise X number of dollars by a certain amount of time, we will match it.
Oh, well.
And that has been
wonderful.
Very beneficial.
So I know that you're still very connected to IM in so many ways. When you look at the overall picture of the future of missions in general, what excites you?
I think what excites me are the young people that are going on mission trips. I mean, from my own church, I've seen some of them come back and just have a different look in their eye, a different sober-mindedness about them. And so I think the laborers are ripe to come into the harvest and then help pluck ripe fruit. So the young teenagers, the young adults coming up, they excite me.
I think we see that across our denomination where we can see years in advance now of mission students, even up to 15 years old, who are saying, we're called to go.
Yeah.
And we know it. We're just trying to get through the process so that we can get to the field. So, I believe that's true. Pastor Jeff, thank you so much for joining us today. Please, until we can get there, please tell Unity Church how much we appreciate them, all that they do for missions. So thank you so much. We hope you guys will join us tomorrow. We'll have more interviews with other people.